Hello, and welcome to Ungimmick. Today, we are doing a little bit of a different format, and I am joined by Connor McDonald.
Hello.
How you doing, Connor?
I'm doing fantastic today. I'm very excited.
See, well, we need to change dynamics because this is not the podcast. This almost sounded like the podcast, but we are here to do a performance review. We are starting with Lea Kyle's most recent Penn and Teller performance, but our idea here is to do an analysis of professionals in their element. There is no strict guidelines to what we're doing. We will talk about what we feel in any given performance, but the focus is never the method, as it never is here at Ungimmick. So Connor, what can we expect from what's to come in this YouTube channel?
Well, there's a lot to expect to come. I think, we have some other projects in the work right now. This is the one that you're going to be seeing first, hopefully. If you want to check it out early, hit subscribe.
So an important note regarding this project of performance reviews, we are not doing a reaction video. It will look semi-similar to one, but it isn't. This is a planned performance review. So if you're watching this to watch the performance, you're doing it wrong. Please go familiarize yourself with the performance first. We will leave a link to Lea Kyle's channel in the description, and then come back to us so that you can think about her performance a bit deeper. So let's move into the performance and let's analyze Lea Kyle's performance on Season 7, Episode 8 of Penn and Teller's Fullest. First note, straight away, a balanced set design. We have a fitting room in the center, coat hanger to your stage right, mannequin stage left. We just know immediately this is going to deal with clothes.
I think that this is perfect. Here we see an entire set design based off of clothing, and the first two productions that she does, which is magic, by the way, are done with clothing. It makes total and complete sense.
It's wonderfully carried out all the way through as well. She never loses sight of her theme.
When the dress changes, the music changes. And I just thought that was so well done because it keeps the audience engaged into what they're doing. Like, now there's a shift.
Absolutely, it's the whole vibe changes here. I would go as far as saying that she's a different character. She acts different, she walks different, and the music, of course, makes the whole thing tie together very nicely. We're not watching the same thing anymore, although we are. In my opinion here, it took one beat too many before the costume change. There's a lot of time, and I get it, she's building up the tempo. The productions get faster and faster as the piece goes on, with a couple of valleys in between. But here, I just think it was a little bit too long.
Yeah, I didn't really mind how long it took. I think that it was, for me personally, I was going along with the music, so when she was kind of dancing to the music, I was just kind of involved in that aspect. So the beats didn't really bother me too much, but I didn't like the song. But that's just a personal opinion.
I agree with you on the song. It's the third song that plays. It's the second song change. It sounds very cliche to me. But an important note is that the character does change. So although,
with the song,
yeah, we don't like the song, but the characterization and the internal reality keeps going. Good job, Lea. We're loving it.
She's another person. When the music changed, she was skipping earlier. She was skipping over there. And but now that the music's changed again with the dress, we have slower movements, right? She's going up and she's gesturing. Now she's walking very slowly, right? And I think that's brilliant.
The blue dress she picks up looks exactly the same like the one she has on before. It's method-wise, I understand, but it looks too similar to me. More than that, the dress appearance on the coat hanger looks very cool. But in the end, it's pointless, because the dress appears, she picks it up, and she throws it to the side, center stage. So she did, to me, she didn't treat the prop with the care and respect that it deserved after there was that production. So it was, although cool, didn't further the plot.
Yeah, I mean that dress production was really for the method to help her have more, there's more movement going around, which is okay. It just really didn't make any sense to why that dress specifically appeared. But I was thinking what she should have done was she could have made the dress appear and be like, oh, now she has two dresses. Do I want to wear this one? Do I want to wear this one? How about this one? Whoosh, right? And when she was performing it, right, she was just kind of like, just change the dress, which didn't make any sense. Yes. Yes.
This is by far one of my favorite moments in the whole routine. And if you've listened to the Ungimmicked podcasts, it's not hard to see why it is one of my favorite moments. It's not even necessarily magic, right? It's paper that's just falling off of her and revealing a dress underneath, but it's such a beautiful moment. There's a sequence and there's logic to all this. You have a little flower made out of paper that she drops, and it foreshadows, and instantly her dress starts to fall. Everything worked perfectly. I'm assuming that there's a lot of room for error there method-wise, where one thing could fall before the time. Everything worked, and I loved it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no kidding. And what I thought was really nice about this is that she does a change. I'm gonna call it a change, and just for this conversation, she does a change that she hasn't done before yet. She's not quickly making a dress change. It's gonna fall off of her, which is something that, first off, extremely creative. Props to you on that one. But it's something that she establishes with the flower that's going to break. By foreshadowing it, she now has created an environment for that to make sense. Because if she didn't have that flower, I don't think that would have made sense. The dress would have just fallen off her, and it would have just been like, okay, okay.
We would be saying what we said before, that it was pointless.
Okay, so I personally don't think the flowers really make any sense. I mean, other than the method, other than just like a big object that she's flowing around, I don't know. But I wonder if there's a different prop that she could have used besides that, because, I mean, I don't know. Didn't really make too much sense.
I agree with you. And we talked, they're big and fluffy, but besides that, they are out of context, and they're never brought into context. I interpret this as a sequence of stage magic moves and movements that in the context of the routine, they serve little purpose besides magic for the sake of magic, which is it is what it is, and there's no substance behind that. So get ready. Point on that costume change, because it's less than half a second that flower is covering her. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely amazing.
Bringing it back about 10 seconds, though, there is a music change as she's holding the flowers and as she's putting the flowers up.
Yeah.
I think it's unjustified, and it breaks the rhythm that was previously established. So Lea tells us that the song changes when the feeling of the piece is supposed to change. So the flowers were already in play. They had already appeared. She was still the same person wearing the same dress, and the song changed. So something there didn't fit to me.
Yeah, there is a really awkward moment there, and I kind of felt it a little bit. There's a shift there that shouldn't have shifted, really. But what I did like is that the song is actually, this is where I noticed that the song is actually helping her build suspense in the audience. Like when she's about to produce the flower, the song dies down, and then she produces it, and the song goes ba ba da da, right? So I thought that was so brilliant.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. So get ready.
That didn't make any sense. That made no sense.
Why do flowers suddenly have light powers that she can pluck out with her fingers. I'm sorry, Leah, but this is the lowest point in your routine. You completely break the internal reality, and it's a shame.
It almost would have been better if she produced something that had red lights on it and then plucked it off, right? Then at least something was glowing already.
Exactly.
If she were to use the red lights.
Because the flowers, we've touched on it. They weren't in context before. They're still not in context. They're just there. Light has never been a piece in this. And now the flowers possessing that thing of light, it goes on, and we'll touch on it in a little bit, of the costume change, and it aids her in a very, very beautiful costume change. But yet again, we're getting to the point where it's magic for the sake of magic. It's lacking a little bit. I would love to see a little bit more substance. There's absolutely no need to elaborate on the unbelievable costume change that was done with confetti.
Yeah, wow.
It's one of the, I think I can say it's the best costume change I've ever seen.
So good.
Incredible. What I want to touch on, though, and to me this is more important, is the points for class in showing the coat hanger front and back in a supernatural way. She's used it before as a prop, an illusion prop, I don't know the exact term. And it wasn't shown before because it wasn't important before, because she moved on to something else. Now she's about to use it again, so she just spins it around. It's super classy. It's part of the choreography. There's no mention that it was done at all. Wonderful.
Yeah, and what I didn't realize this until you brought it up, that she does that. I didn't even notice that she spun it because it's done on an offbeat where she does this huge change, and then I'm like, oh wow, that was awesome, and now I'm relaxed. And then she spins it around and shows the whole thing, and I was like, I didn't even realize that she was, like just proving it. What's the proper term for magic? You're kind of like showing your prop.
Yeah, showing the prop.
You're showing it, yeah. And this is what I loved, is that it ends with a proper climax.
Yes.
And if you notice, the entire time the dresses, like they start off really big, and then they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and like on her body. And then when she ends it, she ends with a bigger dress holding all these dresses. Like it builds. It built up for a proper climax, which is awesome.
Climaxes are important. You finishing your show, whether it's an emotional or a visual climax, that you need something to need to go out with a bang, and she does it because she ends with a full stage, which is beautiful, colorful, and most important of all, it makes perfect sense. Overall comments time. Just generally about the whole routine. Connor, I'm going to let you start. Tell me what you felt, what you think.
Personally, when I had this comment when I first started watching it, and I sometimes have this comment just for Penn and Teller routines in general, is why, right? The inevitable question, why are you doing this? And everything within the routine was completely justified within the world that she created, all the dress productions and everything like that. But I feel that the reason why she was doing this specific routine in general might have not been justified.
I see what you mean. It's what we were talking just before. It is a magic show on TV, so it's just, I think it's justified in the sense that it's a magic routine. All within the routine is justified. Mm-hmm. All the dresses make sense. There's a progression, as we just talked about. It ends with a big climax, but it's a stage act that doesn't have a story inherently. But I want to say that to me, that is not at all a detriment. Magic doesn't always have to have a story that's grounded in the real world or in any fantastical world. This, to me, is one of the best Penn and Teller performances of this most recent season. And I'm not going to go into ratings because I don't think that's fair. But
yeah.
I don't think we're even entitled to do that. That's not our place. But it was beautiful. Creative, different, I loved it.
It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was our first ever performance review. Let us know if you're excited to hear more about us. Let us know what performances you want us to review and talk about. We are excited to continue with this project. Make sure you follow us on our social media and on YouTube, because more is to come, and we'll keep you updated on all those platforms.
Yes.
All that's left for us to do is to say goodbye. I was joined by Connor McDonald. My name is Gonçalo Sousa. Thank you for watching on Gimmick.